All right. I'm here to introduce Ian Harris. He is known as the Skeptic comedian who has a satirical and skeptical take on his comedy. Ian Harris is also a director, voiceover artist, actor, and mixed martial arts trainer. He has two comedy specials, Critical and Thinking and Extraordinary, and has appeared on Jim Kimmel Live, The Comedy Central, and has made Entertainment Journal's Top 100 Comedians list, landing at number 25. Here is the Skeptic Comedian Live with Ian Harris.
Awesome. Well, thank you all. First off, before I do anything, can we get a little round of applause for everybody you've seen and the organizers of this amazing event? Can we please do that? And those of you who go to this school, I think you don't know how lucky you are. Hopefully you know how lucky you are. Let's say that. This is pretty cool. I've seen some speakers that have been at some really amazing, huge events, and they're here for, in this one room for us. You know what I mean? That's pretty cool. So, so thank you, everybody, for all the speakers and all the organizers. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. Some of you may have seen me talk last night, or maybe you've seen me do comedy before, but I am a comedian, first and foremost. I've been a comedian for 27 years, and I'm a skeptic as well. I've been a skeptic my entire life. I've been an atheist my entire life. And about, 8-9 years ago, I started specifically doing comedy that was fueled by skepticism. I think all comedy is fueled by skepticism, but I really started putting that into what I do in comedy because that's what I find funny, And I find funny poking holes in stuff, right? I'm that guy. I can't stop arguing with people, all the freaking time. You know what I mean? Like if I'm online or I'm face to face and you say something factually inaccurate, I cannot remove myself from the situation. You know what I mean? Because I'm a skeptic, right? Or maybe an asshole. I'm not exactly sure. One of those two things. But it's really difficult for me. But here's the cool thing, is I get to do all these cool conventions, right? And all my shows now are skeptics and atheists, which is great on some level because I'm preaching to the choir. But on the other hand, there's a misconception. I'll do Comic-Cons, and I do Dragon Con, and I do all these cool nerd conventions. And the big misconception is that nerds, that we're so nerdy we can't party. And that is not true. Because you got to go to a Dragon Con or a Comic Con one of these nights and go to the after party, right? There's a DJ, and you're going to get a couple of drinks in us, and I promise you will see a chubby 47-year-old Harry Potter out on the dance floor just shaking his ass burgers. You know what I mean? Really getting down. You'll be like, wow, I think his Patronus is James Brown. Okay. Trying to find my audience. Some of you are like, what does tequila have to do with this? It's Patron, something different. I've been a skeptic my entire life. My daughter's exactly the same way as me. I realized that when she was very young. We have this rule in my house. There's a rule in my house that there's no such thing as bad words, only bad intentions. I've been saying that since day one, since the day she was born. I said there's no such thing as bad words, only bad intentions. It's okay to say whatever you're going to say, but know what you're going to say and own what you're going to say, right? Always said that since day one. And I knew she got it because I picked her up from first grade. She got in the car and she goes, Dad, let me ask you a question. Is crap a bad word? She goes, I know there's no such thing as bad words. That's not my question. My question is, do people think that crap is a bad word? I go, I don't know. Why do you ask? She goes, well, at my school, she goes, none of the kids seem to think that poop is a bad word. She goes, half the kids think crap is a bad word, but all the kids think shit is a bad word. She goes, but they mean the same shit. And I'm like, that's the shit I'm talking about, right? And she's like, yeah, that's fucked up. I'm like, fucking A. But not only do I like to argue, I feel like I'm a magnet for stupid stuff. People say dumb shit to me all the time. I can't avoid it. I don't know if I seek it out or if people seek me out. But the other day I was hanging out with a friend, and he comes up and he goes, hey, man, check it out, dude. I'm about to be a father. And I was like, oh, well, congratulations. And he goes, whoa, hold up. It was an accident. And I'm like, well, you know what? Sometimes condoms break. He goes, no, I wasn't wearing a condom. I'm like, oh, okay, well, the pill is what, 98% effective? I guess you were part of that 2% that slipped through the crack, right? No pun intended, by the way. And he goes, no, she wasn't on the pill. I'm like, dude, 2018, whatever it was. I'm like, you were using the rhythm method? Are you fucking crazy? And he goes, what's the rhythm method? And I was like, all right, why don't you tell me what happened so I can figure out what happened, right? And he goes, well, my girl and I hadn't been out in a long time, so we decided to go to dinner, and we had a bottle of wine, and we got a little tipsy. He goes, then we ended up going to a bar, and we had a few more drinks. We got pretty messed up. He goes, then we ended up at a dance club. We were out till 4 in the morning. We were partying. We were drinking. We were having a good time. And we went back to my house, and we had sex, and I guess I didn't pull out quick enough. I'm like, wow, your accidental pregnancy sounds identical to my wife and I's intended pregnancy, right? Like, if I hear accidental pregnancy, I'm expecting a story. How did this accidental pregnancy occur, right? Well, I was masturbating on the sidewalk, right? Like I do every Sunday, right? And my girl was upstairs, and she was taking a shower, and she got robbed at gunpoint of all of her clothes, so she chased the assailant down the street all wet and soapy and naked and slippery, and she ran past me. She slipped. She did a backflip. She landed right on my junk right as I ejaculated. I'm going to be a father. I'd be like, damn, that's an accidental pregnancy. But if I ask how this accidental pregnancy occurred and your response is, we got drunk and did it, I'm like, hey, this word accident? I do not think it means what you think it means, right? Like, you realize that penis plus vagina equals baby, right? Like, that's kind of the mathematical formula for a baby. If you had a Betty Crocker cookbook on how to make a baby, it would say 1 part penis, 1 part vagina, mix well, right? Alcohol to taste. I'm just saying, you might as well say to me, hey, man, last night I accidentally baked a cake. How'd that happen? Well, I was pissed drunk, right? And then I came home, and I set my keys down, and I accidentally preheated the oven to 400 degrees, right? And then I went over to the pantry, and I got out a bowl, and I threw in some flour and some eggs and some milk and some butter and some convection sugar and some vanilla for taste, And then I mixed that all up. I blended till smooth, right? And then I accidentally dumped that into a greased pan. And then I put that greased pan into the oven, and like 45 minutes later, you're not going to believe this, but there was a fucking cake in there. Like, oh my God, what kind of cake was it? I don't know. I told you it was an accident. Can I have some of it? No, I accidentally ate it. If I accidentally gain weight now, I'm going to be purposely pissed. Right? Yeah. I'm just saying, you can't show up to like Maury Povich or some daytime television with that dumbass story, could you? Could you go up to Maury Povich like, look, Maury, that ain't my goddamn cake, okay? I don't know how to bake no goddamn cake. I don't have no recipe for no goddamn. I've never even made cookies, Maury, and that ain't my goddamn cake. Because it's Maury Povich, and he'd be like, we've got the results right here. Ian Harris, you are the baker of this cake. Oh, bullshit, Maury. Come on, man. That cake don't even look like me. All right, you guys are loosening up a little bit. Okay. So I'm from Santa Cruz, California, very hippie, liberal Santa Cruz, awesome place to grow up. But I have a lot of new agey friends, and they always try to give me cool advice because they know I'm a skeptic. Like my friend says to me, he goes, dude, I'll give you some life advice, bro. Here's my life advice. You can take this home with you, man. You got to live every day like it's your last. Is that a good idea? To live every day like it's your last? Anybody here ever polled a group of their friends to find out what they would do if it was their last day on earth? I have, and the answers are fucking frightening, okay? Like, dude, last day on earth, what do you do? It's like, heroin. I'm like, no, that's not what I meant. It's like, oh, you mean like jump out of an airplane with no parachute? I'm like, no, I was looking for something awe-inspiring and uplifting. He's like, oh, go to Brazil and nail hookers. I'm like, all right, you're not getting this. I'm just saying if we lived every day like it was our last, we'd all be walking around like a bunch of drug-addicted, STD-infested daredevils, okay? You can't live every day like it's your last. We have a name for people who live every day like it's their last. That name is Charlie Sheen, okay? Do not live every day like it's your last. That's how you die doing what you love. And contrary to popular belief, you do not want to die doing what you love, right? They say that, but they never mean it that way. You never hear anybody go, hey, man, did you hear about Bob? Yeah, man, he died. Yeah, overdosed on heroin. But at least he died doing what he loved, right? That dude loved heroin. He did it like all the time. Loved it. No. They always mean like some grandiose, it's always like some like crazy thing, right? It's always like extreme sport. It's big wave surfing. It's rock climbing. It's like, did you hear about Bob? Yeah, man, he died, dude. He was surfing 50-foot Mavericks. He bailed. He never came up. But at least he died doing what he loved. And of course, me, I'm always like, drowning? He loved drowning. Really? What an asshole. Okay. Yeah, man, so it's funny growing up in Santa Cruz. I have all those people, man. I got the friends, like they said I do mixed martial arts, and I'm always got injuries. I've always got issues, and I've got those alternative medicine friends. And they're always like, dude, man, you like taking that big pharma shit, bro? So no, man, you got to do some like alternative shit, dude. You got to like you got a shoulder problem, you got to put some like muskrat oil on that shit or something, right? Non-GMO, dude. You don't want to get like GMO, like, you want to get that. You want to get like organic. You just grab a muskrat and just like rub that shit on there, dude. Then you got to like take a picture of it, like print that picture out, burn it, throw it in some holy water. That shit's going to be gone tomorrow, dude. I don't know how it works. I'm not a scientist, but you can figure that shit out. I don't have a problem with alternative medicine, but I think with the alternative medicine, somebody mentioned, Tim mentioned before, Tim Minchin says that. What's alternative medicine that's proved to work is called medicine, right? I'm fine with it. Prove it to work through scientific means. That's how we prove other medicine to work, right? I got no problem with alternative medicine as long as you prove it to work through scientific means. Prove it to be safe and effective. But we don't. They hide behind the dietary supplement label so that they don't have to prove their effectiveness. Do you guys remember a few years ago? You guys remember the over-the-counter cure for the common cold? It's called Airborne. Airborne got sued for $23 million because they faked all of their clinical trials. I'm wondering, how was anybody fooled by this product in the first place? You guys remember the commercials? The commercials alone tipped me off. It was like, Airborne, take it at the first sign of a cold. Developed by a teacher who is tired of getting sick. That's all it takes? 200 years of medical research, and all we needed was one teacher who is mad as hell, right? I'm not going to take these sniffles anymore. Imagine if we could solve all of our problems that way, right? Like perpetual motion, finally invented by a hillbilly who ran out of gas, right? Like, I drive my goddamn El Camino down the freeway, man. That thing just took a shit on me right there, dude. It just took a goddamn dumper, and I'd have no gasoline. I didn't have a red cent to my name. I'd have nothing. I said right there, I said to myself, you know what you need to do, Cletus? You need to invent yourself one of them zero-point energy machines. I said, fuck combustion. I put my foot down. I said, fuck combustion. Now here I am, cut 3 years later, Nobel Prize in physics. Who'd have thunk it, right? Airborne has a cartoon on the box. Would you trust medication with a cartoon on the box? Like if you went to pick up your lithium, or I don't know why, I assume probably. But if you went to pick up whatever it is you're on, something I'm sure, and there was like a Calvin and Hobbes on there, and like Hobbes had his arm around Calvin and was like, once you take this, you'll no longer be able to hear me. Would you buy it? I wouldn't. My friend's like, well, there's your problem right there, dude. Big pharma. They're trying to keep all the cures down, man, because there's too much money in the treatment. So they're never going to come up with the cure. Too much money in the treatment. I'm like, that sounds kind of interesting. Let me explore that. A lot of money in the treatment. Then I started thinking about, what would the cure for like cancer, like how much would it cost to keep the cure for cancer down, right? Because there's millions of people involved in the cancer industry worldwide. You've got oncologists and other forms of doctors, and you have like scientists and researchers and professors and colleges and nonprofit organizations worldwide working on a cure for cancer, and somebody comes up with a cure for cancer, and you're going to pay all these people off to keep quiet? And then I thought, what would it take for me to keep quiet about the cure for cancer, right? And I thought about it. I couldn't even put a number on it. I'm like, well, maybe that's because I'm not greedy, right? So I had to go ask all my greedy friends. I had to go ask like all my non-conscience having, like my money grubbing, like my Republican friends, right? Like I went and asked them. I was like, what would it take to keep quiet about cancer? And even they were like appalled. They were like, no way, man, I can't put a number on it. So I threw a number. I said, let's say it's 20 million. Let's say every one of you can shut up for $20 million about the cure for cancer. Multiply that by millions worldwide. I don't even know the number. I know it's something to the something power, and I know you'd have to pay them in euros because US dollars don't even fucking go that high anymore, okay? There's no cure for cancer. We're going to have to wait for one smoker to finally get angry enough to put an end to all of our suffering, right? I'm no doctorologist, but I smoke enough to know. No. I hate these tumors. All right. You know, I hear that conspiracy theory shit. I hear it on dick pills. You know, like the penis enlargement pills. Like you hear it on the radio. You guys hear the radio commercials? There's like Enzyte and Extends and Hero Tabs, and they all have the same commercial. They go, Hero Tabs, we've got the formula guaranteed to make your penis bigger and thicker and fuller than any penis in history. We've got the formula the drug companies don't want you to know about. And I'm always like, why do the drug companies care how big my dick is? That's what I want to know. I mean, I can understand if the psychiatric industry was behind it, because they have something to lose, right? It's like, fellow psychiatrists, we have got to do something about this dick-growing formula. Ever since men's penises are larger, we've lost 75% of our clients. Depression in men is virtually cured. And now women are beginning to cheer up as well. Got to find a way to shrink these dicks back down to a depressing size. Johnson, you've got the small one. Give us the answer. I don't know. Yes, his name is Johnson. It's got to be, right? Of course. No, there's no cure for a small dick, folks. Sorry. I'm going to have to wait for one monster truck rally fan to finally get angry enough to put an end to all of our suffering. There will be a cure for small dick someday. I don't know what day that will be. I just know that it'll be on a Sunday. Small dick cured. I don't know. I was driving through my hometown, Santa Cruz. I was behind a Suburban, a big Suburban car, and it had a bumper sticker on it that said, Chemtrails kill. I felt like it should say, Chemtrails kill, ... dude, but it didn't. I was bummed about that. But here's my thing. I'm like, wait a second, you're driving an 18-passenger, 4-gallon to the mile urban assault vehicle on a road in California with millions of other cars, and you're worried about water vapor that's happening at 35,000 feet? It's water vapor. We know what contrails are. They've existed since aviation. We know what they are, and it's at 35,000 feet. So even if there was something in there, with a jet stream and there was no way that it would ever get down here. And if it did get down here, it would be a part per gazillion, right? But everybody in here knows at least one person. Or maybe that person is hacky-sacked up to you at a fucking Target somewhere or something, right? Like, no way, dude, it's not fucking water vapor, bro, right? It's a fucking government conspiracy, man. They're putting stuff in the jet fuel and they spray us. It gets down in the water and we drink the water. And it's a government conspiracy for mass mind control. I'm like, really? The government? The government's doing this? Which government? You mean the United States government? You mean the same government that can't deliver my neighbor's mail to me on time? You mean the same government that allowed the city of Flint, Michigan's water to have more lead in it than 50 Cent? Is that the government we're talking about? There's so much lead in the water in Flint, Michigan, Superman can't see through a glass of it, okay? I'm supposed to believe they let that slip through the cracks, but somehow they've convinced the entire world's airlines and all the employees that it's okay to poison our own groundwater in some sort of mass mind control experiment. And judging by this guy and every chemtrail expert I've ever met, the only way to thwart off this mind control agent is to work part-time at Whole Foods and live in your mom's basement, right? And that's always the point in the conversation where the dude goes, oh, man, they already got to you. It's like, you can keep your eyes closed, bro, right? You can just, the rest of the sheeple, red pill, blue pill, whatever, bro. My eyes are wide open, man. I'm woke. And I can tell you for a fact, this is a government conspiracy, man. They are drugging us to keep us all pacified. That shit's real, bro. Now let's go hit this drum circle, right? Are drum circles a thing here in Wisconsin? Probably not. Like they are. Are they? Oh, yes? All right, nice. I don't know if that was a beach thing or what. All right. Here's a joke I haven't done in 20,000 years. Whatever. No, I have those friends. My friend said to me the other day, my friend's always trying to convince me because he knows I'm a skeptic, so he's always like, oh, you just don't believe in everything. Like, you're just a cynic. He doesn't understand the difference. He's like, I was trying to come up with something I can believe in. And he goes, here's something you can't deny. He goes, everything happens for a reason. I can't deny that? I think I can deny that, right? I don't believe everything happens. I mean, I understand cause and effect. I understand that if I don't, put on my brakes, I might hit the car in front of me. But that's not what this guy's talking about. He always means some grandiose cause and effect, like somebody's looking out for him, right? He always has these crazy stories. You ever met anybody with these crazy stories? Like, dude, yeah, you don't believe me? Crazy shit happened to me the other day, dude. I got fired, man. Yeah, because I was late. But no, it's okay, dude, because everything happens for a reason. You know what happened? I woke up late, dude. My alarm didn't go off. All these years, man, every day that alarm goes off, every day I wake up. This day, that alarm didn't go off, man. I don't know what happened. Just didn't go off. I get up. I can't find my shoes, dude. I'm running around. My shoes are nowhere to be found, right? When I came home from the bar, they were on my feet, right? But I don't know where I finally find them in the bathtub, right? So I put on my shoes. I get out to my car, and I realize, oh, shit, I don't have my keys. So now I got to break into my house to find my keys. I break into my house. I find my keys. I get back in the car. I get on the car. I get in the freeway. 50-car pileup. 20 people dead. And that's when it occurred to me. If I had had my keys, if I had been on time, I'd have been in the middle of that. And I'd be dead. Someone was looking out for me. Everything happens for a reason. I'm like, yeah, because if I'm God and I don't want you to die in a horrific car accident because the world needs a solid Denny's waiter or whatever the fuck it is you do, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hide your keys to delay you for 3 minutes, because as an omnipotent, all-powerful, all-knowing being, that would make far more sense and is far more ethical than say, I don't know, how about I just don't cause a 50-car pileup and murder 20 people on the freeway, right? Like, that's crazy. Why would I do that, right? And it's always, I don't have no problem with that. Like, I think it would be great if everything happened for a reason. I always thought it would be really cool if everything happened for the same reason. Right? You're watching like, 5 seconds left. Brady drops back in the pocket. He throws his fire strike across the middle. It's caught. Patriots win. Patriots win the Super Bowl. It's amazing. How do you feel this moment? Oh, man, it's the greatest moment of my life. 8 straight Super Bowls, man. I can't believe it. Before I go any further, though, I got to thank one man. I got to thank Ian. Because if he hadn't left his keys at home that day, none of this shit would have been possible, right? Let's talk to the losing Seattle Seahawks. How do you feel? Oh, it was a horrible time. I mean, we thought we had it in the bag. But, I guess it wasn't in the cards. I mean, it would have been nice if Ian hadn't left his keys at home that day. We'd be over there in that winner's circle right now. But we're just going to have to go back. We're going to have to go to the drawing board. We're going to come back next year. We're going to be stronger. Because you know what they say. Everything happens for the reason. All right? Being an atheist, I argue a lot with my Christian friends. I have a friend. We've all heard this one. I have a friend who came to me and goes, hey, man, so let me get this straight. You believe in evolution? Which is an oddly posed question. Do I believe in the fact that it's evolution? I'm like, yeah, I believe in evolution. He goes, evolution is just a theory, right? It's just a theory. We've all heard that. We're like, and we've all said, wait a second. A theory is one of the highest levels of knowledge you can achieve in science. Like, what are some other things that are just theories? Like, gravity is just a theory. Plate tectonics is just a theory. Germ theory is just a theory. So I'm like, if you've ever said the word just a theory, you either don't know the meaning of the word theory, or you don't know the meaning of the word just. You probably say other nonsensical shit like, don't worry about that thing swimming around down there. That can't hurt you. That's just a great white shark, right? That guy, he's got no power. He can't fuck anything up. He's just the president of the United States. Don't worry about him. A condom, it's just herpes, please. That is just a joke, by the way. So don't. Just fucking around here. Now my friend goes, so you don't know then, right? Because you can't prove your point 100%. Can you prove your point to be 100%? No possibilities of any other possibilities. Like, I don't know what that means, but sure, I'll say I can't prove it 100%. He goes, oh, so you don't know. I'm like, fine, I'll say I don't know. He goes, I gotcha. You don't know. But when it comes to Jesus, I know. And I'm like, no, man, you believe, and that's cool. He's like, no, I know. I'm like, no, you believe. He goes, no, I know. I'm like, you believe. I know. You believe. I know. You believe. I know. Finally, I'm like, look, this word no, I do not think it means what you think it means, right? How can I explain it to you so you'll understand this better? Here I go. I can't say that I know you're an idiot. That is just a theory. I thought that'd get more. Okay, but that's all right. It's my favorite joke. I don't get people who don't get science, though, man. 97% of climate scientists agree that climate change is real and the majority of it is man-caused. 97% of the experts in the world on that subject agree to that fact. But the majority of Republicans in Congress, they don't buy it. What do they say? They say the science isn't in yet, the science isn't settled, we have to wait for the science. We got to be scientific. Yeah, that's what the Republicans, they want us to be scientific. We got to wait for the science. There's no consensus. Meanwhile, every year, record temperatures. Polar ice caps virtually gone. We have crazy weather patterns. We have huge storms like we've never seen before. In the last 3 years, we've had more F5 giant tornadoes go through Tornado Alley than any time in history. And according to Republicans, that's not caused by climate change. That's caused by gay people fucking. And I'm not making that up. That's what they believe. They think it's God punishing us for gay people. So gay people, if you're here tonight, listen carefully. Because Tornado Alley and the Bible Belt are the same place. So every time you have sex, God punishes a red state, okay? So get to fucking gay people. We got work to do. We got an election coming up in a couple of years. We need to get God so angry he takes out a polling station in Tulsa or something this year, right? Like, seriously, gay people, do your part. Get to fucking. Have as much sex as you want. Whatever you would, just take one for the team is what I say. Have an orgy, take two for the team. It's none of my business, but we need your help. Have you ever noticed every time a tornado goes through like one of those little trailer park towns, it always wipes out the entire like community and leaves one standing? Have you ever noticed that? Every single time. It takes out everything and leaves one. And they always find the guy who owns the one and they interview him on the news. Every time. Here's every interview. He's like, oh man, it was crazy, man. Tornado came through here last night, dude. It like wiped everything out, man. It killed all my neighbors, man. The neighbors that are alive, they got nothing left. It just decimated the entire area. It just wiped everything out. Left me standing. God is good. I'm like, really? He sounds like a dick. And so do you, right? And that's what I thought, though. How do I know that wasn't his plan? He could have been up the night before like, dear Lord, I hate my neighbors, especially Phil. He's a real asshole. I got a new kid. I don't know if you heard about this. I got a 13th kid coming along, and man, I would love a bigger backyard. That would be fantastic. Front yard would be, side yards. In fact, if you could just see to it tonight that a tornado could come through here and just wipe everything around me and just leave me standing, that would be fantastic. Amen. P.S. Have you heard about the gay people fucking? I don't want to tell you how to do your job or nothing, but they're doing their business, so if that helps. They hate the gay people, the Christians. I don't get it. It's so weird. Like we heard about this yesterday. I think that the cake in Colorado, right? The cake maker, decorator that wouldn't make a cake for a gay couple for their wedding. He said it violated his religious beliefs somehow, right? Because he wouldn't participate in a gay wedding. It's weird to me. So I'm thinking to myself, the first thing I heard about them, I'm like, wait a second, so this guy, he's a cake decorator, and he won't participate in a gay wedding. I'm like, that's like cake that's like the gayest job ever, right? Like that's like going, I will not serve these people in my store. I do not believe in gay people. I do not like gay people, and I will not serve them in my store. Sir, this is a Judy Garland memorabilia shop, okay? You make rainbow sequin chaps. Know your audience, bro. That's all I'm saying. It's weird, though, because he doesn't seem to check if they have tattoos, right? He doesn't check to see if they've been previously married. He doesn't check to see if the wedding's on a Saturday. That's the Sabbath. Does he check to see if there's bacon being served there? Does he check to see if there's shellfish being served there? He doesn't check any of those things, so it's about his religion. I heard now, though, that he was like, okay, fine, I will make a gay wedding cake, but it has to be cherry-filled, for all the cherries he's been picking. Not really a joke. I just like that statement. Oh, man. All right, you guys are an audience. Hope you're enjoying this okay a little bit, at least. This isn't really the comedy setting, I understand, but that's... All right. Oh, man. It's weird when people like cherry pick. I always think it's weird when someone calls God our Heavenly Father. People always say that. God's our Heavenly Father. He's our Father in heaven. Because it makes me think of, like, what if God was our real Father? Like our actual dad, right? Because think about the shit that you can't do in the Bible. It's pretty messed up, right? If that was your real, like you're not allowed to what? Like I said, you're not allowed to have a tattoo. You can't eat shellfish and pork, and there's all kinds of things you can't do, like weird, petty things that are punishable by death and burning for all eternity in hellfire. Like you can't touch a woman or anything a woman's touched if she's on her period, punishable by death. Or right? That's crazy. And I think about like my dad, like he once beat me with a Lincoln log for arguing with my sister over the Barbie dream car. I thought he was an asshole, but I'm like, he's got nothing on this guy, right? And that's when I thought about it. I was like, if he was our real father, Child Protective Services would be all over his ass, right? And that's when I realized that must be what the devil is. Child Protective Services. It makes a lot of sense because the devil is always trying to lure us away from our Heavenly Father, right? It would explain why hell sucks so bad. It's an underfunded government program, right? I think. The devil's down there. Look, I'm sorry, everybody. I get it. We're in the basement. It's hot down here. I get it, okay? I'm sorry. But maybe if we could get the 1% to pay some of their fucking fair share, we could get an air conditioner down here. Put out some of these fires, okay? Look, Bill, I'd love to bring back Casual Fridays. It's not in the budget. I'm sorry. I did think that would be an interesting... I'd love to see that custody battle, though, right? Fighting for God, fighting for battle, custody of his children, right? I'd love to see that in like some really bad, like 50s court TV type thing, right? Some like slick TV attorney. Mr. Yahweh. Is it okay if I call you Yahweh? I know that you get testy about the way people refer to you. I see you're represented by the finest legal team money can buy. The law offices of Frankincense, Murstein, and Goldberg. But I only have one question for you, sir. Is it not true that you sentenced your own son to death for, and correct me if I'm wrong, sir, sharing a park bench with a woman? Gotta be like, yes, that's true. But to my credit, she was unclean. Like she was on her lady time or whatever you guys call that. Oh, sorry, ladies. I don't know what I was thinking when I came up with that whole menstrual thing. Like, can I just really, as I'm up here swearing an oath to myself on my book, that was not an intelligent design, okay? I apologize. But yes. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, infinite punishments for finite crimes. Seems in his household, it's either Yahweh or the highway. All right, you guys already knew that one before I said that. I argue with my religious friends all the time. My buddy Ozzy comes to my house all the time, and he likes to look through all the books I have. I have 9 bookshelves in my house. I love reading. And he always looks through the books. I remember years ago, it's a true story. Years ago, he comes to my house, and he's looking at my books, and he pulls out, it was The God Delusion. This is probably, 10 years ago. Richard Dawkins, and he goes, Richard Dawkins? You like this book? This guy's an idiot. This guy's a moron. I'm like, well, you may not agree with everything he says, but he's certainly not a moron. He's like an evolutionary biologist. He's a professor. He's an author. He's a very smart guy. You may not agree with him, but he goes, he's got nothing to say. He's got no new arguments. Everything he's said has been done to death. And I'm like, oh, really? Well, I think he makes 100 good points in his book. I would love to hear you refute one of them. Pick the easiest one. Pick the one that when you read through the book, you said to yourself, this is garbage. I can smash this. Give me your rebuttal. Go. My friend goes, well, I haven't read the book. I'm like, wow, go figure. A Christian who's got fervent beliefs about a book he's never actually read. This might get a little dicey for some of you, but I like I said last night, I got to talk about shit that I can't. It drives me crazy. I have to talk about it. The Catholic Church, man, again, another one. Did you guys hear about another fucking priest? It's unbelievable. Like they had in Pennsylvania, 1,000 kids in Pennsylvania. It's insane. Before that, they had an archbishop. Did you guys hear about there was an archbishop that got busted because on his computer he had 85,000 images and videos of underage children. 85,000. Now look, I've been on the internet pretty much since Al Gore invented it, okay? And I have never seen a single piece of child pornography. I've never even met anyone who's ever seen a single piece of child pornography. And this guy had 85,000. And my friend points out to me, goes, well, dude, that's because you don't spend any time on the dark web. I'm like, yeah, I didn't even know there was such a thing as the dark web. How is it that every 95-year-old priest has a login and a password? That's what I want to know, right? It's like Staff of God 47. Click. Password kneel before me. Click. Oh, it's going to get worse. It's crazy, right? Because I actually do, like I said, I like to argue with people. I go and talk to these people. And I go and I talk to them, and when I ask them questions, like I will go talk to priests, I'll go talk to, religious people, and I'll ask them, like, what do they think about the beginning of the universe and evolution and science, and what do they think about all these things, right? And every time I talk to them, they act like they've never heard of fucking Google. You know what I mean? They're like, what? What's a computer? I don't know what a computer. I've never heard of any of this information. You're giving me a science book? Don't know anything about that. No, all my information comes from the Bible. This is the only source of information I need right here. I've never heard of a computer or any other book. Everything I get comes from the Bible. This is the only source of information I need right here is the Bible. This is the only thing I need right here is the Bible. And then when it comes to downloading a terabyte of kiddie porn, suddenly they become Bill Gates, Edward Snowden, and Jared from Subway, all rolled up into one computer genius super pedophile, right? Like last week, they didn't know what Wikipedia was. This week, they're hacking into the NAMBLA mainframe, right, to find circa 1980s naked Gary Coleman pictures that the authorities will later find on a desktop folder aptly titled Different Strokes, right? Like, you're right, that's a fantastic joke. A little edgy for this room, but that's okay. A priest got busted in Italy for selling cocaine at a college party. I'm not making this up. A priest got busted. There was a college party. They busted. The only guy to get busted was the priest. He was flushing his cocaine down the toilet when the cops came in. And my first thought was, we've all heard of the King James version of the Bible. Apparently, this guy's adhering to the Rick James version of the Bible. Give it to me, Jesus. Give it to me. A few years ago, actually, I met a few people in the room here there. I got to do the Reason Rally. You guys familiar with the Reason Rally? Yeah? I got to do the Reason Rally in 2016. It was really cool. Originally it was cool. I was the only, myself and Margaret Cho were the only two comedians invited. Then Margaret Cho bailed out, so I was the only comedian invited to do comedy on the main stage, which was really cool. And I was so excited because the first year they had like 30,000 people, right? And before I went, I told my friend, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go do comedy at the Reason Rally. He's like, what? You're doing comedy? You, an atheist comedian, doing atheist comedy in front of 30,000 atheists? He goes, dude, when you come back, you're going to be like a god in the atheist community. I'm like, dude, I already am like a god in the atheist community. None of them know I exist, and those that do don't give a shit about anything I have to say. So, mission accomplished. Here's my one rule, man. Don't knock on my door. I think we can all agree, right? I mean, there's no Christians here tonight, I assume, right? Are there any here that just come to fucking to punish themselves or something? It's like, not one? Oh, okay, cool. Well, welcome. I didn't mean to. He's like, yes, I am. Thank you for being a dick. All right. Well, you can probably agree this. Don't knock on my door, right? I think that's pretty, because most Christians I know are like, dude, that's even annoying, right? You know why? You know why we don't like people come door to door? It really doesn't have anything to do with the religion. I don't know if you ever thought about it, but the reason we don't like people coming door to door isn't about the religion. It's because it's your time. It's your house. It's your space. It's Saturday. It's Sunday. You do what you do on those days. You watch a game, barbecue, you bake a cake, you read a book, whatever you like to do on your day. And they're at your house on your time to talk about their shit, right? It wouldn't bother you if they were there to talk about your shit, right? Someone knocked on your door, they're like, hey, man, I want to talk to you about that Conor McGregor fight. You'd be like, fucking A, come on in, right? They're never there for that. Never. Like, I'm an atheist. I'll never knock on your door, right? I mean, what would I do? I'd be like, hey, I want to talk to you about science, but I see you got the electricity working and you're firmly planted to the ground via gravity, so we're square. I don't know what to tell you. Here's a book, Origin of Species. I'll be back in a couple of weeks. We'll talk about it. I don't know what I would do. But it's the reason we don't like door-to-door salesmen. It's the same thing because they're there for their purposes, right? Think about it. If they weren't selling you something, would you have a problem? If somebody knocked on your door and you're like, hey, man, no soliciting, and they were like, no, I didn't come to sell you anything. I just came to give you a vacuum cleaner. You'd be like, really? You're giving me a vacuum cleaner? That is so cool of you. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Shit, you want to come in and talk about Jesus or something? Because we have tons of time. That's why I created what I think would be the greatest job ever invented. This is my idea for the greatest job ever invented. I'm not an entrepreneur. If you are, you can take this and run with it. Make a lot of money, that's fine. Just give me 10%. That's all I ask. This is what I think would be the greatest job ever invented. Selling no soliciting signs door to door. That would be great, wouldn't it? We'd either be like, can't you read no soliciting? And you're like, that's why I'm here. To sell you a bigger sign. This is sure to keep assholes like me away. Have you heard the good news? All right. Cool. Perfect. On time, too. This is great. People say I'm mean to Christians. I don't mean to be. I mean, I talk a lot about religion. This is, I do a lot of different stuff, depending on if you've seen any of my shows. I've got a lot about a lot of different things, not just religion. I like to talk a lot about religion because it's fun to me. People always say I'm mean to, I don't know why. It's like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying what I say, I actually think the world would be a much better place if more Christians were more Christ-like, right? I think we can kind of agree with that. The world would be a much better place if more Christians were more Christ-like. Absolutely, yes. Yeah, you can, yeah. Of course, by that I mean imaginary, but, oh, that's a fucking great joke. All right, fine then, fine. Atheists not liking that joke. Okay. Wow. All right. You guys surprised me there. You're like, wow, you're a dick. I wouldn't even have gone there. It was just a joke. My favorite joke. Really, people? Okay. Where am I at? All right, good. Look at that time crawl. Okay. No, it's good. I love talking about. I love. You guys watch any of the TV shows? I love science, and I love entertainment in general. I hate when they merge the two. I really do. You know what I mean? Like when they try to do science-based shows that are not, like they never actually do science-based shows, do they? Like they will do like these paranormal shows and shit, and they always like try to make them seem science-y. And they never do. Like they kind of just pay it lip service. Like they'll be like, it'll be a ghost show or a Bigfoot show, and they'll always have like a guy on there that's the skeptic, right? And he always gets convinced really early. You know what I mean? He's always like, I'm a skeptic. You got to convince me. You got to give me scientific data. You want to prove to me that there's a Bigfoot? I better see hard scientific data that there's a Bigfoot, okay? I'm not buying it, man. I'm a skeptic, and that's how my brain works. That being said, about 5 minutes ago, I heard some rustling in those bushes, and based on this new information, I'd say there's at least 10 large Sasquatches currently planning our demise, right? And they always have the guy, they always have like a science-y guy. Like he's not a scientist, he's like a scientographer or something, you know what I mean? Like the guy that invents their shit, you know what I mean? Like they always have these wacky things that don't exist anywhere else in the world. He's like, this is the magnetometron, and it like what? You're like, this is the heatometer. This is like, this here is one I invented. It's called the shit that doesn't exist a phone. You know what I mean? Like, I actually don't like the dramas either. I know I should. CSI, Bones, like those forensic detectives, science-based dramas, they sound great. The problem is the dialogue in them sucks because they always have to prove and like they have to show the science to we, the morons watching the show. So what do? They explain the science to all the people in the show. And it just comes off as really bad, forced dialogue. You know what I mean? Like every one of those shows, this is it. 2 forensic detectives walk into a crime scene and they walk in like this. Yeah. Looks like the murderer covered his tracks pretty good. Painted the walls, shampooed the carpets. But this is luminol. Luminol bonds to the proteins in blood. I'm going to spray this around the room. And though we can't see it with the naked eye, once I turn on this black light, this entire crime scene is going to become evident. And I always want the other one to be like, yeah, I know, I'm your fucking partner, asshole, okay? We've been working together for 20 years. You don't think I know how luminol works at this point? In fact, in college, you cheated off me in pathology. You don't remember any of this? And they're dumbing it down. I shit you not. I saw when the guy walked into a crime scene and he goes, it's a .38 shell casing. If the assailant wasn't wearing gloves, he might have left his fingerprints on this. if we send this back to our lab and if those fingerprints match any known fingerprints in our system, we've got our shooter. Whoa, slow down, Columbo. Let me grab a pen, okay? Are you telling me that our fingers leave distinct prints these days? That sounds like voodoo, but you're the expert. I'm just saying we don't talk like that. We just don't talk like that, right? Think of it. If you talk like that in our daily lives, our conversations would sound completely different. You're about to have sex with your girlfriend or whatever, you'd walk into the bedroom like this. Look, I need you to get naked. I need you to get up on that bed. I'm going to put on one of these. This is known as a condom. It acts as a latex barrier between my sperm and your egg. I'll put this condom over my penis, then I will insert my penis into your vagina. I'll move my hips back and forth in a rhythmic fashion. If I can do this for long enough, at the right tempo, it should result in a euphoric sense for both of us, theoretically ending in what is known as an orgasm. Now, granted, if I didn't have to wear this condom, that euphoric sense would be greatly heightened. However, the impending orgasm may result in an accidental pregnancy. I'm very nervous about doing this for you guys because this takes a lot of energy. But if you guys want to see, I'll do one more little bit. You guys cool with one more thing? All right. You guys have been fun. Again, this takes a lot of energy, and so hopefully you guys enjoy it. So also, yeah, by the way, I do have, they mentioned, I have a couple of TV specials. One is I think available. The other one is definitely available. It's called, I'll give you guys a little card that tells you if you guys want afterward where you can find it. It's called Extraordinary. And actually, you know what? The other thing is this. I didn't realize I brought, because I don't sell things. I do sometimes at like comedy shows. But I brought download cards, and I'm just going to give these to you guys if you guys want. And if you want to give me money, you can donate some money. Otherwise, just take it. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you. This is download both of my CDs on this. So you guys can just take it if you want. Like I said, if you want to donate, cool. I brought like a handful of them, and I didn't even know I brought them. And otherwise, come by and say hey afterward, and go check out my TV special on Amazon Prime or whatever, if you guys like what I do. And if you don't, then just ignore me. All right. So I love science. I love entertainment. I don't get, like I said, when they merge. But it occurred to me, I was thinking, why don't we have better science education in this country, right? And I realized watching this last election that we are morons. That might be the problem. No, but we respond to different things, right? We don't really respond to facts. We respond to sensationalism and sound bites and tits and ass and guns and explosions and race cars. That's what we respond to, right? We respond to summer blockbuster movies. So that's when it occurred to me. That's what we need to do with our science education, is we need to infuse it into summer blockbuster movies. So I have created my first summer blockbuster movie on climate change, and I'm going to do that for you guys right now. So this is my interpretation of a summer blockbuster on climate change, okay? This summer, the world is heating up, literally. Starring Jason Statham as Mike Pence and Donald Trump as the president. Mr. President, do you have an idea what's going to happen if we don't get climate change and global warming under control? We are going to be fucked. And when I say fucked, I mean proper fucked. Listen up, okay? Nobody understands climate change like me, okay? Nobody. Okay, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go down to Antarctica, okay? I hear they got a lot of cold air down there, okay? So we're going to go down to Antarctica. We're going to gather up some of that cold air, and then we're just going to, like, comb it up over the rest of the world, okay? It's going to be great. It's going to be huge. Starring Dave Chappelle as former President Barack Obama. Damn, man! That is the most ridiculous idea I've ever heard. And as the first black president, let me just say, I'm glad that when the world ends, it's going to be on this cracker's watch. And let me also just say, damn, Melania, you got some nice titties. I wasn't going to say nothing, but I did swear an oath to uphold the truth. starring John Malkovich as Bill O'Reilly. You know, the liberals will tell you that science has everything figured out. But the tide goes in, the tide goes out. No one knows how it happens. And they'll also tell you that global warming's happening and the world's heating up. But this morning I walked outside of my house and it was fucking snowing. Starring Gilbert Gottfried as Senator James Inhofe.
Okay. What's the deal with this whole global warming nonsense? The whole idea is crazy. I think if God is up there, and he is, if God wants it to be hot, it'll be hot. If he wants it to be cold, it'll be cold. I think God wants us all to go by swimming pools and have an endless summer. I love swimming. I love summer, so suck it. And I haven't seen a single report come across my desk about the global war. The whole idea is fracking ridiculous.
We'll see how this one goes. Starring Terrence Howard as Al Gore.
Hey, man. Hey, Inhofe, man. What's this shit right here, man? Is this my report on global warming, man? Tell me this shit just fell out your pocket. None of you know who Terrence Howard is, do you? It's all right. One black guy has seen Hustle and Flow. I'll move on.
Oh, that's bad, white people. Oh. Starring Michael Douglas and Robert De Niro as the Koch brothers. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, you know, a lot of people are going to tell you that my brother and I are a couple of greedy businessmen out to harm the environment to turn a profit. Well, let's not forget the immortal words of Gordon Gekko when I say to you that for all intents and purposes, greed is good. Great is good, huh? No, yes it is. Great is good. I'm good. We're good. If you don't believe me, you get in the back of my fucking trunk, huh? Great is good. No, yes it is a little bit. Starring Charlie Sheen.
Hi, no, actually, I'm not even in this movie, but I heard someone say Koch brothers, so I came running. My bad.
Starring Bruce Willis as head of science, Ted Cruz. Listen up, everyone. I read the report. Global warming's real, pal. And there's only one way to stop it. We gotta arm everyone in America and blast a hole in those greenhouse gases. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Starring Keanu Reeves, Owen Wilson, and Matthew McConaughey. I am an astronaut. And there's only one way that we can solve this problem. We have to load everyone onto a rocket ship and then go and colonize Mars.
Wow, man. What a great fucking plan, man. Colonize Mars. That's amazing, man. Except for one fucking problem, amigo. It won't work, man. Yeah, man, you gone crazy, man. You gone loco, I say.
Well, all right. Colonize Mars. That plan sounds interstellar. You know the greatest thing about space travel? Everyone else gets older. I stay the same age. Starring Cat Williams and Jeff Goldblum. Starring Cat Williams and Jeff Goldblum as the presidential advisors. Mr. President, we have got to do something about this global warming bullshit, okay? We have got to put in our star motherfucking player. We have got to put in ourselves a Neil deGrasse Tyson. Where the fuck is Neil? Yes, Neil Tyson, yeah. I love Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yes, that'd be great. Except for one problem. That is that Neil deGrasse Tyson has gone crazy. Yes, America's lack of science understanding has made Neil go nuts. He now lives on the streets and he thinks he's Gary Busey. All right, look. How you doing? All right, good to meet you. Neil deBusey Tyson. All right, look, you want to solve this whole problem about climate change, right? You got to look at the word climate. CLIMATE. Can't live in massively aggravated temperature environment. Fucking boom. Climate. And starring for no other reason other than he's in every great movie and every bad impression bit. Christopher Walken as the right-wing climate scientist. You know, it's crazy, what they're saying about, global warming, whatever. They're going to tell you a bunch of stuff. It's not true. No, they're going to tell you the ice caps are melting. It's bullshit. Ice caps aren't melting. What's happening is that we, as a society, are just enjoying more drinks on the rocks these days. That's where the ice is going. Going to the drinks. So next time someone says to you, hey, it's hot, you say to them, cheers. Get in your Hummer and drive as fast as you can to see climate denial. Not only is it not a river in Egypt, but there is no longer a river in Egypt. Hey guys, thank you very much. Thank you to everybody for all the organizers again, everybody who spoke. I really appreciate it. Have a good night. See you later.